Okay, hi everyone. Thank you very much for coming along to our next mini brief here at the Expo. So my name's Laura. I'm going to be talking to you about breaking records. So as I start talking, here is a video of us from Skydive Arizona in October of 2023. I went over there and I was really fortunate to be part of a new world record. And this is the point where we found out that we had achieved it. So the aim of this talk is for me to share with you how I got to the point of being able to be on records, and also hopefully to inspire you guys to get as happy as these guys on here. Before I start, has anyone been part of any records? No? Cool. So how did we get a world record? The world record that we managed to achieve was for the highest number of people building the most formations ever. So we had 108 people and we managed to build 3 formations in sequence. So how did we do it? Well, firstly, there was a lot of pre-planning. So if you want to get into this, you're going to expect to get a lot of information in the run-up to the event itself. For me, that meant that I knew where my slot was going to be. I knew where I was going to be in the exit order on the aircraft. I even knew the order that I was going to be breaking off at. So I was able to do a lot of pre-planning myself and make sure that I was prepared to do the best possible job of that role. We gathered together from all over the world at Skydive Arizona because they had the most planes and the best weather for us. So we all gathered together, and then it was about building the best team we could possibly be. So everyone getting to know each other, getting comfortable flying together. We were learning from every single jump. So each time we got down, there would be a massive debrief where the load organisers for the event would have been through the video with a fine-tooth comb looking at where are the little parts where we could potentially be a little bit faster or a little bit neater or a little bit more quick to get into what we need to do. We had to balance the morale and the attitude as well at the same time. So with a world record, it's not just about going and doing the jump and doing your job. It's about keeping everyone's spirits up. So for us, by the time we got the record itself, we'd been jumping for, I think it was 5 days. We'd done the pre-jumps where we jumped in smaller groups first. We'd been working up to it. And then we'd repeated this same dive 12 times, I think, before we actually got it. So there's an element of everyone's getting quite tired. Everyone's getting a little bit bored, same jump every time, and you have to keep everyone's morale up. One of the things they did for us that I really enjoyed was one of the guys on the record did Diablo. So the circus tricks, he came and did a Diablo inspirational talk for us, which was really, really cool. An attitude for everybody on the jump. It's so important that if you want to be part of a world record, you know it's not just about you, it's about the whole team working together. So there might be points where you're like, I could do this much better, or I don't understand why that person's not doing very well. It doesn't matter, it's about working together as a team. And also, we needed to have really good leadership. So whenever you are looking to get into a record, you want to be part of an event that's led by somebody that you trust to be able to deliver the event, that you trust to have the right skills. So for me, it was my old coach, Nicholas, who is the multiple-time world champion in Arizona airspeed. For you, you might be thinking already about who are the leaders in this sport that you really look up to, and do they do any events that you can start to get involved with? So how did I personally get to the point of being on a world record? Well, hopefully, given that none of you have done a record yet, this should inspire you and hopefully advise you on which route you could take. So for me, it all really started with 4-way FS. So because the world record that I was on was a formation skydiving one, I had to be the very best I could be at formation skydiving. It makes sense, right? So I started off doing a lot of 4-way. So I had teams, even when I very first started, very inexperienced, very low budget teams, just to start to get an idea of how to do things. As I progressed and I kept on getting coaching in those teams, I got better as an individual, up to the point where I was in Chimera and we became the national champions in 4-way FS. It was really once I was at that point that I felt like I had the skills to then transfer over onto a big way world record. And actually I was invited to the big way world record off the back of the fact that I'd done Chimera. So I'd never really done any record attempts for big way FS before, but because I was good at 4-way, the people who were leading the event knew that I'd be good at big way FS. I also did a lot of networking. So for you guys, as you're starting out, think about your own FS skills, but also think about who you know in the sport. Make sure you go to lots of different drop zones, get involved in lots of different events, because that's the way that you're going to meet the people who are going to be organising the next records. Building a reputation. So again, this is really important. And for me, a big part of my journey was becoming 4-way national champion meant I had a reputation that I must be quite good at doing FS. For you guys, you might follow that same pathway. You also need to think about how you are perceived within the events. So, you want to turn up, be someone who is easy to load organise. So by that I mean you're not being the person who's complaining or whinging about things. You want to be positive, you want to be upbeat, you want to be doing a great job in every single slot or every position that you're given in the jump, and build a reputation of being reliable and being a nice, fun person to have around. Invest in getting coaching. Even if you've got your FS1 and your FS1 Plus, you're not done. Keep on getting coaching, keep on being load organised and getting tips and advice on how to get better. And get involved at all levels. I still really like doing beginner level stuff, because in those kinds of formations, I can sit a little bit more still, think about my own body position. I'm probably going to get there before some of the less experienced jumpers. And that's not a negative, that's a real positive for me, because it means that I can be really thinking about how am I flying this? How could I sharpen up and do better? Right through to the advanced stuff where you're really pushing your skills, which means you'll be frustrated at times. You'll be like, I can't do this, this is too difficult. And that's a great place to be as well, because you're always learning. I organised the British record, so we set a new formation skydiving record in June of 2023 at Langar, and that was 41 people building 3 formations in sequence. So that's the highest number of people doing the most formations in the UK ever. I organised it alongside my friends Phil Curtis and Will Cook, who was also on Chimera with me. For us, when we were organising this, there's lessons that you guys can take from this part too. And that is that for us, the first part was building the best possible team. So we're always looking for people who are very good now and people who are going to be up and coming for the future. So this comes back to you guys, getting involved in as much events as possible, as many events around the UK as you can, and being seen by people so that we can be building our lists. I actually have a spreadsheet on my computer of people that I think are going to be good in the future, as well as people who are good now. So really think about that, get yourselves seen. We had to pre-plan the dive, so that meant that we did a lot of load organising over many years, where we tested what's going to be easiest to do, what's going to work best. We had to manage the team the same as we did in America, making sure that everybody was well informed ahead of the jump, making sure that everyone's there on time. That's another big thing when you're being load organised. Make sure you're there on time, make sure you're someone who's easy to manage. And again, we were scrutinising every single jump, so don't be surprised if you are on a record attempt or you're working towards one, if you get lots of feedback. That's a real positive thing, because it means that you can be more reliable when the record attempt comes. So how can you get onto big wave records in the future? Well, my first tip for you guys is to focus on your own skills. Think firstly about your own development. So for some of you, I know some of you, you've only just got your FS1 or your FS1 Plus. Don't stop now. Keep on doing FS. If you can, get into a team. Go and do 4-way in the tunnel, do 4-way in the sky, get a coach who can help you out. That's really going to help to develop your skills as a flyer. And practice them. So even if you are in a team, that's not everything. Go to events, go on big way walk-up stuff, join the load organised groups that we've got at Langar. It means you can practice the skills that you've been learning and see how they work in a different environment. Invest in coaching. I've mentioned 4-way a lot, but I genuinely believe if you're good at 4-way, it's easy to be good at big way. If you just focus on big way, I believe that the journey to getting onto a record is longer. I think you learn a lot more in the small group environment, and that's applicable to big ways. Be a good team member. And this is true whether you're in a 4-way team, a big way team, or you've just turned up for a load organised group that weekend. Be the person who is humble, who doesn't whinge, oh no, I'm not in the best slot for me, I could do that better than that person. No, be there to do a good job and do it in a positive way. Be kind to other people around you, be supportive of the team effort, and take every opportunity to learn. I'm a load organiser, I organise events and records. I'm looking at people I'm load organising all the time and thinking, are they somebody who's going to be continually improving? Are they going to be a good positive member of the team that I want to put together? Or are they someone who thinks that they're already the sky god, they're already the best and they're never going to get any better? For me, I will always prioritise those first set of people over the second. And go to lots of events. I work at Langar. I love Langar. There's loads of events to come to at Langar. but I would also encourage you to travel. Go and jump with different people out of different aircraft. You'll learn lots from doing that as well. So this is a video of the big way that we did. This is where we got the world record, and I just wanted to show you guys so that you can get a bit of a visual of what this could look like for you. So you can see we've got 5 planes. So we've got the lead plane at the very front, and then they're all in kind of like geese flying in formation. So you've got the right trail and the right rear trail, and then left trail, left rear trail. I was in the left rear trail, so that was really fun. I was one of the last divers. What that meant is that as I exited the plane, I could just see all of this happening. It was amazing. You've got planes everywhere, people everywhere, but everyone's working to a set plan. Remember what I said at the beginning? We'd all had the plan in advance. We all knew where we were going to be. We all knew what route we'd take down to the formation, so we could all get there as quickly as possible. Once we're in, everybody continues to work. So it's not a case of, oh, phew, I've made it, I can relax. No, we're all working really hard to be falling together at the same pace, staying nice and close to one another, not pulling on each other. All the basics of big way that we'll teach you if you come to beginner level big way events. They all still stay true, even in this big wave formation. And then as we move to the next points, again, we're referencing across the centre. We're keeping ourselves on a level. We're working really, really hard to make this happen. I'm trying to work out where I am in all of this. I can't spot me. I'm somewhere, I promise. And now we're breaking off, so we all know as well when we're going to break off. So you can see there was a first wave of people who went at the first height, then there's a second wave who went at the next one. That's everything I've got for you. Does anyone have any questions? Cool. Well, thank you very much for listening. I hope it's inspired you all, and I hope to see you on the next Big Way event.